This is Eric Posable with Body Morph Pros. I'm here with Sergio Oliva Jr. We're at Quads Gym. We just did a little bit of leg training. Sergio, how's it going, buddy?
I felt better.
that was a tough one. Some of those drop sets made me want to throw up.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too crazy. It's just getting back into the game, for sure, having to push it, but not push it too hard.
So some may or may not know you had hernia surgery, I don't know, 6 months ago or so?
Yeah, it was in July, right after the juniors, actually.
Yeah, so had the surgery. So this is kind of the first, heard from the training partners, the first time we went to 6 plates on the leg, on the squats.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it felt good. It's more the mental part, having to kind of push through that, but I felt pretty good today. I think it was just because you were here.
Having the camera in your face, it never hurts anybody, man. So let's talk a little bit about training and stuff. How often are you in the gym hitting the weights now? Because I know you're kind of on the road to the USA's.
Yeah, well, I usually do 5 days and usually up it up to about 6 when I get into contest prep. But because I had to take 3 or 4 months off of sitting on the couch, I feel like I don't really have time to take a day off. So I've actually been 7 days as of late. Instead of taking a day off, I just hit like abs and calves and some miscellaneous stuff. So it's kind of like an off day, but I've been in here 7 days a week.
Are you doing cardio too, or just the weights?
No cardio.
So let's talk about the breakdown of your workouts through the week. So 7 days, what are you just doing, a body part per day?
Yeah, body part per day, and then exactly on Sunday, and then I usually take a day off after leg day, but then that's when I just hit abs.
All your ancillaries.
Right, exactly. And then again, I'll hit it again on Sunday. And then as I get closer to show, once I can get my whole body back up to par, I'll figure out where I'm lacking, and then I'll probably do that twice a week.
So coming off the juniors, obviously a disappointing loss over at juniors. What was the mentality going forward with some of the things you wanted to try to work on this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely tough, barely losing, but I didn't feel too bad. It was my first time as a super, definitely on a national stage. So as any competitor knows, your diet's not the same as when you're a heavyweight. So, and me doing it all by myself, it was kind of tough to kind of make those changes going up in weight, and your body does get affected differently with sodium and water retention and stuff like that. And I'm hoping that I figured it out and I fixed it. But yeah, definitely, I mean, of course, you want the win.
And so you mentioned you don't really work with anyone, which is pretty awesome. Because, I mean, this is the day and age of everybody's a guru. Everyone's got a prep coach, and I know that you're signed by Labrada. And I'm sure he's all ears if you have any questions, but coming from a different era, there might be a little bit of a difference in what guys did then versus now. But doing it on your own and getting ready for a show, so difficult, and still having success. And now, like you said, jumping from the lower weight class into the higher weight classes, obviously the body is going to be a little bit different. So now you're in your first off-season being a true super heavyweight. How different has the macronutrients and the eating and the nutrition been versus in the past?
I mean, it feels good to be able to eat whatever I want, for sure. But yeah, I mean, definitely having Lee, even anyone in my corner, especially someone like him, definitely helps with confidence and stuff like that. Exactly like you said, it's a little bit different. The era is a little bit different. But he lets me call him whenever I want, and man, I definitely do. I definitely bother him. So it's nice to at least have someone for the mental part of it, because as you know, that last couple weeks, it's really just more mental than anything, and just having someone that I can call and they just tell me that I'm doing fine and not to fuck it up, really.
Right. And let's talk about having a sponsorship. I know Labrada, known for their good products. Lee, obviously known for his years competing and whatnot. Takes a little bit of the pressure off competing, maybe, having the sponsorship?
Yeah, well, definitely. And I consider myself one of the kind of the biggest fans of the sport, and I'm a huge Labrada fan, just as a competitor. So when he took an interest in me, it definitely made me kind of up my game just automatically anyway. It feels really good to have someone, backing you. But the best part about it is I really do feel like they are sponsoring me and not my father. I've had past sponsors in the past, and I'm not trying to make any excuses, but it definitely was off for the name, not what I've done. And Lee and the whole Labrada company definitely treat me like a family member. I'm over their house whenever I can, and I feel like another one of his sons.
How hard has it been to step out of your dad's shadow and compete as your own person?
I don't even know how to answer that. Like we talked about a little bit before, not a lot of people know in the sport. My dad's name helps me kind of get the doors open. But once those doors are open, it doesn't really matter who your dad is. It's once you're on stage by yourself.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. I mean, everyone's like, oh, it's Sergio Oliva. But you've clawed and scratched. I mean, they didn't just come out and hand you wins. I remember when you got fifth at Junior Nationals, your dad handed you the award. It wasn't like they just handed you the show because your dad was there. I mean, you still had to work your ass off. You're still in the gym. And anybody watching this video is going to see we're doing heavy leg presses. We're doing monster drop sets on the leg press. Heavy verticals. You're not in here fucking around.
Yeah, I mean, definitely starting as a middleweight at 176, and now being a super, I got myself on the back of the shirt because I did that, gaining about 150 pounds now. So that feels really good. But exactly, you have to keep adjusting as your weight goes up, and you have to do things different, even the off season. And me being a little bit taller, I'm not like Tony Freeman or anything like that, but I am taller, so being a little bit more lengthy with squats and deadlifts and leg press and stuff like that, I feel like I don't really have anyone that I can be like, oh, well, he does this, I should do it that way. I kind of have to do things my own way. And definitely genetics play into a part too, where some areas grow a little bit faster than others, and I try and lay off on that a little bit and spend more time on the areas that are making me not win.
So let's talk about your leg training for a minute. Saw the free weight squats. Is that something that you incorporate in every workout, or do you kind of rotate the squats around a little bit?
Yeah, no, I've always done squats. I mean, growing up in the sport definitely was something that definitely helped me even before I even competed. You know that if you don't have legs, you're not gonna win. So I knew right away when I first started even just lifting, I was doing legs twice a week, and that's when I learned that they do grow really fast. But I've always squatted. I feel like that's the steak and potatoes of legs.
And I agree. I noticed your stance was a little wider than most. Do you alter the stance of the squats, or is it always kind of a wider stance?
Yeah, it's always been wider, and I'm kind of like, I'm pretty stubborn. If it's an area where I don't feel like anyone's beat me at a show before, I'm not going to change it. And then when I do go a little bit more narrow, I feel a little bit more in my knees.
Yep.
And I've only been competing for so long, but I literally was born in this sport. So you're seeing people that had huge potential, and they end up getting taken out because of injuries. Yep. I try and limit that before it even becomes something.
I asked because I'm taller. I'm about 6 foot. I did the wider stance squats because I always felt them in my knees as well. And I felt like when I went a lot closer, I also got a lot more ass out of it than quad. So I always went with a little bit of a wider. Right. Allowed me to sink into a little bit and pull my quads.
Exactly.
So I noticed it, and I wanted to ask.
Yeah, definitely. If it's not ass to the ground, it doesn't count.
We went up to a paltry 6 plates today.
Yeah, it could have been better. It was my first time in a while for sure. So for sure the confidence level wasn't the best, but I feel like next week it'll be better for sure. I definitely want to go low, and I want every rep to be perfect.
Well, as any athlete knows, when you have an injury, it's really toeing the water. Like, how does this feel? How does that feel? And you really kind of baby step in, and it's better to play it safe than be sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we went to the leg press. Do you always incorporate a leg press?
Yeah, it's usually a leg press. It's just if it's either going to be a really heavy set or if I'm going to add a drop set in or not. Today I felt like I did both, so that I felt really good. And I feel like a good bodybuilder just goes off of what your body's telling you. If you kind of go in and you're going off of this plan that you got off the internet or something like that, and this person did this, then you're asking for failure. I go through my workout as I feel my body is willing to go.
Yeah. And we finished off with some verticals. One of the staples at Gold's, if you're here, you got to do the vertical leg press. I said I love it. It was very hard to find one these days, so if you need one, come to Quads. But I noticed we did the vertical, and you jumped right into a single kind of seated leg press, just your left leg. What was the thought process there?
Yeah, my right leg's a little bit bigger than my left, a little bit meaning a lot. So I definitely want to fix that. I don't want to step on stage and not be perfect. So that's something that I've noticed. I don't measure my body. I've never have. I just go off the mirror, and I don't need to measure to see that it's off. So just adding a little extra stuff with my left leg for sure is something I feel like I need to do, especially after my surgery. I wasn't doing legs for about 6 months, so it already being a little bit behind, it definitely took a toll sitting on the couch for that long.
Yeah, and you can almost see the difference in size when you don't train, worse than when you are training.
For sure, it stands out.
So let's talk about what's on the plan here for competing this year.
Yeah, I definitely. If I feel like I'm in shape, I would definitely love to do the juniors again. I want to win the biggest show in my hometown, but USA's is the main thing that I'm getting ready for. I think it'll be really exciting to get on. I feel the hardest show there is, and see really where I'm at. And I also get a little rematch against the person who beat me in the juniors, so I'm excited about that.
Always a good motivator.
For sure.
Is this picture on your fridge?
Yeah, and the scorecard too.
So if fans are going to see it, where are we going to see it this year? Arnold? Are we going to LA Expo?
Yeah, I'll definitely be at the Arnold. I'll be with Librata, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Because if you're competing, it'll be harder to travel, obviously, and I'm sure Lee will give you some time.
Absolutely. He's been very understanding.
Yeah, we talked about that, and it's cool to have that kind of support, because I know some sponsors will grind you into the ground. So it's
most people would think that I already had that growing up. So it's weird when I talk to people, and I'm kind of sound really excited about having someone like that in my corner, and they're kind of thinking, isn't your dad, Mr. Olympia? But no, I definitely get more help from him than I ever have in my career.
Yeah, well, it's good. You look great. I followed you a little bit. Obviously, I was getting out of the sport when you were getting in serious, so it's good to see the Chicago guys coming out and representing. Before we get out of here, let's give a couple of shout-outs to some guys that are helping you. Obviously, we mentioned Labrada, but I know you want to give a shout-out to them.
Yeah, I definitely want to give a shout-out to Labrada Nutrition and Lee especially. Definitely my workout partner today. I definitely was feeling under the weather, and I feel like he pushed me. Dushan's good. And I have some other workout partners. Alex and Katie and Napo, they definitely helped me out. It's good to have good friends, let alone good workout partners. And definitely want to thank Quads Gym for kind of being understanding, letting us film.
Yeah, we know it's kind of prime time, and they didn't want us to come here, but it wasn't too busy. I think we squeezed one in.
It wasn't bad. I definitely want to give an extra shout out to you, Eric, and Malia too, as well. You guys have always kind of stuck your neck out for me, and I don't know why. I don't know why you guys like me. Not a lot of people do, and I really appreciate it, and it means a lot.
You're gonna give me that $20 after this, right?
Yeah, for definitely.
Okay, cool. Well, hey man, you look awesome. Best of luck to you in the future. We want you guys to rock it out, and if anybody needs anything, you guys can catch Sergio at some of the upcoming shows, or find him on Facebook and Instagram him, and cyberstalk him. So until we see you at Juniors and USA's, this has been Eric Posepo with Body Morph Pros, Sergio Oliva Jr. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.